Writing it. All right, let's get some music in the background. Non-copyright music. Because you listen to music when you do boring stuff. Wow, I thought there was like better stuff than this. All right. Shit, get over me. Okay, so I promised a optimization curve type thing, talking about how you can use some calculus that could potentially change your life. Like, I use it in a lot of stuff. But just here, so here's some quick basics, right? A parabola looks like this dotted line right here. And you'll notice that it goes up to a point, it starts to slow down, and boom, it hits the very top, the maximum, and then it starts to go down. Another way a parabola comes about is you could have, you could like invert this stuff. Like this could be 9, 5, 0, 5, 9, and then so now we've got a parabola that opens up or has a minimum, doesn't have a maximum, right? Because a minimum would be your lowest point. So just want to kind of do that right now. Just kind of show you what that does. Second thing I want to talk about real quick is that math, like real world math usually never is clean. And I'm just saying that because look, what I'm about to show you is not going to be perfect. Like this here is pretty clean, but it's not the cleanest, right? Because perfectly it would match every single point exactly, and that's just not how life works unless you're dealing with like science, and then even then they've got to account for so many variables that you're gonna get some things that are off. So usually mathematics is only cleanest in theory. All right, so sorry, Julian, I know nothing about cars or too lazy to learn. I failed life in cars, so I can't really apply it there, but there is a discussion in our Discord right now about trades, and so I always want to check this out. I haven't done this yet. I don't think I've ever done this. But I always wanted to. And so, but basically, what this is last year. The salary cap hit per position. I pulled it from a website, and you'll just notice stuff here like the Bills have 8, the Broncos 3, and that's what they have rookie quarterback deals, right? Ravens 5. And what I want to do here is I might have to, skip ahead in some of this video because I don't feel like editing it and all that. But look at that Patriots cap hit number. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna go in here and we're just type wins. And then we'll get to this. We're gonna build like this could take a while. Interesting stuff. I may even stop talking, or I may like talk to myself and forget you're there. But basically, what we just want to do is kind of do that. Put you'll see. So NFL league standings. All right, perfect. All right, so this will go faster because we can alphabetize them. As long as this goes by. Alright, so it is. So, where are the Bears? That's what I'm talking about. Where are the Bears at? Bears are here for some reason. Even though we alphabetize them. Alright, well, we just gotta be careful. So if you don't want to watch this part, you might want to skip ahead. Or you could watch and learn how I do it, but not that it matters. What did they sort this by? I'm not gonna. It just bugs me. Like I wish I can go to like ESPN and get better. No. I do it by city. Alright, not gonna help. Alright. Apparently nobody ever wants to just put the NFL in alphabetical order. Okay. Slow way it is, bruh. Just getting so stupid now. Steelers. I should do that next year. Like next year, just like do like a bunch of gambling just based on how much they pay at each position. Chargers 7. Pat 7. Go do the Rams already. Nope. Which reminds me, I'm so paranoid about the music because when the pandemic first started, I was doing a lot of work with my kids on over the internet, and I used YouTube Live a lot, and I got dinged like a whole bunch of times in a row. I didn't even know I was getting dinged. Like bam, 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 and I got like banned. They wouldn't let me use my YouTube Live for like 3 months. All right, so now we've got basically the basic we're going to talk about, and so just like here's a theory. So here's what we do. We're just going to use just like this over here, right? We're going to use X and Y to create a graph, and then we're going to fit a parabola over the top of it using a computer. But this would be like, okay, if I drink 1 soda, I'm going to gain like 0 pounds, right? But if I drink like 5 sodas, I'm gonna gain like 2 pounds. If I drink 10 sodas, I'm gonna gain like 8 pounds. And the same thing, if I actually this does not make that much sense. All right, ignore that. So let's think of something else that this makes sense at. Hey, fuck it, I'm doing everything inappropriate. All right, watch this. If we spend $1 on our defensive end, right? We'll probably get 0 wins. I'm sure we might get 1 win, but let's spend $1 on your defensive end. You probably don't have a defensive end. All right, so if I spend $5 million on a defensive end, let's say we get 5 wins. But if we spend $10 million, let's say we get 10 wins. But let's say we start overpaying, right? We pay our defensive end 15. Well, now we're spending too much. This is the theory. We're spending too much on our defensive end that we can't spend somewhere else, so we're gonna knock back down to 5 wins. And if we spend $100 million on our defensive end, we're gonna get 0 wins because we have no money to spend anywhere else. So, oh, that was like too aggressive, and the graph doesn't like it that much. All right, so not pretty, right? But let's come back here. Okay, so the solid line would represent like our real world data, even though I just made this data up, right? So you'll notice it's not pretty, but the graph is telling us that, okay, based off this, optimal spending on a defensive end might be like right here. Make sense? And then we'll go from there. But that's basically kind of what we're going to do right here. So starting with my favorite, the quarterback. And if you just like select your columns and then you hit control and then you like click the wins, what we're gonna say now is that this spending this much on the quarterback resulted in these wins. And again, it's not perfect. It's not meant to be that way. But let's see what happens. All right, so here's the quarterback. So to keep this organized, we might even just say QB. QB wins. So again, not pretty. It's all over the place, but maybe we can make some sense of it. Okay, so first of all, if we just apply a linear line, okay, we get some information. So the first information we get here is that let's just stick 0 in for X. If we spend no money on a quarterback, this is just whatever, we're good for 6 wins. See that? $0 would turn this whole thing right here to 0, and then we get 6.23, which is roughly 6 wins. Right? Okay. I mean, and then I was just thinking now that this might even result in some interesting conversations, like, the teams with 6 wins or less, you know, what kind of production are they getting at quarterback? Is that a good way to measure that? Make sense? Because we can come here and say, okay, well, if you go by league averages, right? If you spend nothing on a quarterback, you should get 6 wins. So what are these teams doing where they're spending money on the quarterback position and they're getting 6 wins or less? And if you think about it, look, Cowboys, injury. 49ers, Garoppolo's injured. Maybe they're overpaying for Garoppolo. Is anybody even going to argue with that? Giants are kind of bad anyway, but they're spending a low number. Okay, here's the Stafford. Are we overpaying for Stafford maybe? Panthers, are they overpaying? Broncos got a rookie deal. You know what I mean? Like, so I would look, I mean, just by this, I mean, obviously, if we don't even take into account what we know about the NFL already, Broncos, Jaguars, all these teams might be looking at their quarterback situation. Bengals 7 million, but that kid got injured and he was doing pretty good until whatever. So you can see how you can sort of get some information right off the top. And injuries. All right, so all right, here we go. But that's not what we're here for. So we go back to this trend line and we turn it into a parabola. You do that by doing polynomial order to. All right, and so interesting information already, which I didn't predict, is that basically this says the more money you spend on the quarterback, the better it gets. And in fact, the formula is negative B. I don't have the plus or minus. Oh, yeah. Sorry, negative B divided by 2A. And what does that get you? They're not gonna let me put it there. Okay. So, in this format, which is kind of weird, this number in front of this x is your b, and this number in front of this x squared is your a. So we just had to turn that negative and then divide it by this, which is really weird, right? Because 1 exponent 16 is 1 exponent negative 16 is really weird numbers like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then the bottom number is also 9 exponent. Oh, my bad. All right, so that's like 0.0001, and this is a 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then that's crazy. How much money should we spend on a quarterback? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. My bad. Other way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, never mind. I have something to say about this in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So according to this, the best thing to spend is 900 million. But this is a bit wrong because of this reason. If we look here and here, well, actually, we just got to look here. This is positive because it's not negative. And so this parabola looks like the one like this. So our parabola for the quarterbacks looks like this, which basically means you want to spend less at a certain point and more at a certain point. But again, this is confusing now, so sorry. But basically at the point 900 million, you want to spend more than 900 million or less than 900 million. So that actually told us jack shit. Which is shocking. I thought we'd get some information out of that. I guess the only information we did get is that basically the more money you spend, the better you win that you get out of it. But maybe I should get the numbers from the other thing. Alright, what's this do on the running backs? Bam. This is kind of cool because you can definitely see that this is going to be an optimal number. So we'll do a polynomial. Boom, boom. Yeah. I think another thing is that the numbers are way too big. No, I don't want to do that. I was just going to take the number that we were working with and divide it by a million. That way we get just millions, but I have to do that with every single one. And I don't want to. Alright. So building this up here. We should create a little chart too. You know what? We'll come back for it later. But still, I want to check it out. So yeah, this is a 0.123456 divided by point. And see how it's negative here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20 million. Does that make any sense? No. And why was the math wrong? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, my math is off because you can tell, you look right here, and here's the sweet spot, like 7.5 million. Chargers and Vikings. Maybe these guys. They're within 500,000, sort of. Well, how come we're not getting 7.5? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nope. That's right. My bad. Okay. It's 2 times the B. It's two times this B number here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Times 2. Divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Doesn't make sense. Oh, okay. Again, the 2 is on the bottom. But that's still not the sweet spot. This should be at like 10 million. Why isn't it? Well, okay, so why? The formula says 10. But we can definitely look at our eyeballs and we know it's not true. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, well, so for the love of me, I don't know why. Oh, there's probably decimals here. No, but there's decimals, they would have given it to us. Nah, they're rounding. They had to be rounding. They had to be just doing some sort of rounding. I don't know why they would, well, oh well. Carry on. But what we can still do, we can still keep track of this number, because there's a couple things we can do with this. 1, 2, 3. And that means I got this one wrong. This is 900 million. But that the quarterback's one was wrong. It was like, spend as much as you possibly can. Or spend less than 450 million, which is really weird. Or we gotta leave that formula here. Move down, leave that formula there. Alright. Ooh, weird. All right, so this is another one where it says so because we can actually see it here. Um, they're saying you just gotta spend less than 20 million or more than 20 million. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 15. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think that's a tight end next. This one, this. See that? Basically, the more money you spend on your tight end, the better. There's a clear upswing. See, if we look at the linear. The linear says the more money you spend on your running backs, the worse you are. When I go through and do predictions, I'm probably going to use the linear. After talking so much about the optimal dollar amount spent on quarterbacks, I'm going to go back and basically change everything I said and go with a linear equation to predict next year's wins. Because you could even, like, if you go through, you could still put a 0 in for these and see that if you spend $0 on running backs, you're still expecting to get 9 wins. Alright, I think again we're just gonna see that the more you spend on receivers is that nope, they got definite optimal. Alright, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17.5 mil on tight ends. Oh yeah. And this is like neglect your tight end, and you know see. So like you just if we're using linear mathematics right now. Yeah. If we're using linear mathematics, right now we've got the tight end as being the most important position, like to spend on per dollar or whatever. Or if you neglect your tight end position, the team ends up with a lower wins. Aha! This should be interesting. All right. Look at the Ravens. 21 million, 11 wins. One year, 3 million. Texans running backs. Spent 16 million last year. All right, O-line. All right. Did we get the running backs? Is like the only position that is negative so far? What if someone actually were to make a team based off this? They would just not even spend anything on running backs. The running backs would be like, "Hey, pay us." They'd be like, "Nah, pay yourself, fool." All right, is there a sweet spot? Sweet spot, check. No sweet spot. But and it is 5 positions though, so but now O-line has the most important number. Maybe on Madden you would do it this way. Like if you did a fantasy draft, you would pick up right now we pick up all our offensive linemen. Then you pick up your tight ends. Then your quarterback, then your receivers, then your running backs last. We'll see what the defense is. Because people think this edge over here is the best one. I mean, if you listen to the sports experts, I'm going to skip the offense for now. But if you just look at this, you definitely see more double digits on the more expensive side. Look at that. Wow. That's a lot of money. Alright, offense. Interior line. Rams, yep. I don't know, it looks like a definite sweet spot. You got the Rams and these bottom people fucking up. They're number 709, so basically the math right now says interior and defensive linemen are more important than quarterbacks, but less important than wide receivers. Yep. So I was saying, like on sports news, I hear all the time it's about like first your quarterback, then your edge rushers, then your corners. See, this one definitely a pattern. This doesn't look well for the Cardinals because I think out of 2 defensive linemen next year, they're gonna be paying 40. Look at that line. Look at that line, though, bro. 5-1. So, if you look at the linear graph, Cardinals going to be in great shape next year. Because they spent a lot of money on their ends. Oh, a definite sweet spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. And that is a 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wow. Less than the edge, the interior. Which I've always said as a, if I would definitely need an elite nose tackle over a lot of spots on my line. I just like pushing that center area of the whole line into the quarterback, just disrupt everything. All right. I changing all back to linear because I want to use this number, this constant on the end, and maybe the whole formula to construct like a model for next year, so I can kind of predict wins and losses. It's nerdy and funny. Linebackers. See, those linebackers took the year off. That's has to be why. That's crazy. That is crazy. And the Seahawks pay the most for the linebackers? Alright. You almost have like a definite, I don't know, it looks almost like you have a definite curve about to hit here, and then the Seahawks with their overspending and getting 12 wins. Are they overspending if they get 12 wins, though? Can't argue with the winner. Uh-oh. It was almost flat. It was almost flat. But it's not, because it's not negative. We can see that. For running backs, we can see is the little negative sign up there. Yeah, and it's kind of under the line here and over the line here, but it's very little. Man, this would kind of indicate it doesn't matter what you spend on your linebackers. You're gonna get production. Just get him in and get him out. Nope. So my favorite position on the whole field, safety, I think is going to get ripped apart right now. Yeah. Yeah. Buccaneers spent $4 million. Maybe rookie deals, probably rookie deals. We got 11 wins. The Chiefs overspending at 14 down here. But the Broncos spent the most and got 5, so it's like, you know, hey. It's the quarterback's fault. Alright. Well, safeties, we definitely have an uptick. Their 7.54 number is not that good. They're constant. There's zero safety impact. Alright, there's definitely a sweet spot, so we gotta check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 20 mil. Conus. Ah, there's the kicker numbers on here. I bet I wouldn't just no, because some people will just sign their kickers to good deals. Again, corners are okay. So this is weird. Corners. Ah, yeah, they're barely. Yeah, they're. Well, linebackers 7.9. That's the worst in the whole thing, huh? But that's because the modern game, there's more receivers on the field. Alright, there is a sweet spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I could have just changed that, huh? Because the last one was 15. 40 million? Except that number makes no sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It does say it's still 40 million. Corners are 708. Well, I guess it's, but you can tell it's kind of, oh, the decimal effect. Okay. 40 it is. Just gonna write it down. Forget it. So, all right. Here's how we can kind of interpret this data. All right, using the idea that I started out with, this optimization curve, the top of the curve type of deal, it looks like you get the most out of running backs at 10, tight ends at 17.5 mil. These are not one player. This is whole position groups. Interior defensive line, 25 million. Spend 20 million on your edges, 20 on your safeties, and 40 on your corners. That's 132 million. And then I think this year's salary cap is like 180. That will leave you 50 million to sign linebackers, O-lines, wide receivers, and quarters. Now, I guess you could. There's a couple strategies you could use, right? Like, what should you prioritize? Dude, you'd have to spend. How much are they spending on O-lines average? Yeah. Oh, no. Alright, hold on. So, average O-line is 30 million, 33. Average linebackers are 13. Yeah, so if you use my formula, you definitely have to use a budget. But okay. Now, I don't even know what even cares or thinking about this, but I'm on one, so I'm gonna check this out. We can use these numbers to sort of be like, Myrick, is anybody looking at these numbers like you? And we can sort of look. We can try to make a guess. I should make him my favorite team this year. But if we go Myrick's, we can. So we can go like this. We can go Let's see. All right, so we want the sweet spot is running backs, right? So the sweet spot for running backs would be 10 million. So we could do 10 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, minus C2, right? So what that's going to do, as an example, is that's going to give us a number. Watch. Bam. Oh, I like that. So this gives us a number. And basically, the Jets are completely underspending. They got a 7 million surplus from that. And then, according to this, the Texans are completely overspending. I do not have... This is not my stuff. It's not mine. So if it's not copyright... Okay. Alright. But what I wanted to do... Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So let's see. Oh, we need running back tight ends. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6. So the second one over here is tight ends. There's 17.5. So 175. Tight ends are E. The next one is IDLs. They're 25 million. They are H's. The next one is edges. They're 20 and they are I's. Safeties. They're 20 and they are K. And corners are 40. And the corners are L. Alright. So let's check this out. So basically, the person who is budgeting like me the most is these top teams. Broncos, Ravens, Bills, Bears. Let's see. Not a playoff. Playoff? Were they in the playoffs? They played the Packers, right? Dolphins were close. Chargers, no. Niners, no. This isn't exactly what but still, I'm still happy with this because even if you go to like 16 teams down, the top 16 teams have an average of 9 wins, and the bottom 16 have an average of 6.5. So there is some merit to what I'm saying if you look at those. And I think if we just did this like ghetto, we'd go plus QB B probably. Yeah. Plus B2. Plus D2 plus OL2 F2 plus J2. Alright. Oh, I did not want to see the Cowboys there. Because the Cowboys overspend everywhere that I... That's funny. Oh, yeah, because those other two would fall. Alright. I don't like this. I'm gonna redo it. That doesn't really capture what I'm talking about. How do you do this? Running backs would be... I got it. Alright, so alright. Okay. So parentheses ABS parentheses ABS parentheses. I'm like, please work. Alright. Alright, so that's the first fix. So what I did is I made it the absolute value of the problem so that I can get a number as close to 0 as possible. Because that would be telling them, okay, spend 10 million on running backs, spend 17.5 here, spend. So that now makes sense. And so quarterback infinity, wide receiver O line, linebackers infinity. So okay, so if I remember correctly, 450 wide receivers spend greater, it's like 20 O line. Yeah, spend greater than. It doesn't actually say greater than. It says that's the minimum, 30 million. You should spend less than 30 or greater than 30. I'll do that. Because if we. I'm just saying it because. So quarterbacks, right? If the number's 450, we literally have to put 450 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then subtract B2. And that would be like the number. No. It's gotta go the other way. It's gotta be B2 minus 450 million. And this is a big number. So in fact, we want that number over here. And then we're probably going to have to divide that. It's gonna be a super weird number. All right, who cares? Let's see what it looks like. D2 minus. D2 is probably the receivers. And the receivers, we eyeballed it at what, 20 mil? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. F2 minus. F2 O-line. O-line, we eyeball. Uh-oh. No. No. What did you do? Okay, just do that. Yeah, this one's gonna be weird. Doesn't matter. I'm trying to go through it. Right. I don't know. That looks like 33 million to me. Oh, linebackers. But you can already kind of tell what's gonna make the number weird. That crazy quarterback number makes them. I'm gonna say linebackers is 20 million. It's more like 17.5. All right, so here's the problem I've come up with this. 17.5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be too crazily heavily slanted towards the because the quarterback number means that you got to spend more than 450 million or less than 450 million. So the logic behind that is, since we can't spend 450 million, the logic there would be lower number is better. Alright, so I'm going to redo this to ratios. Alright, so I'm going to take out quarterbacks. And then I'm going to have to put quarterbacks on this side. And I do that because this is the lower number is better side. Alright, D2. Wide receivers. Spend more than 20 or less than 20. I'm trying to figure out how you would interpret that mathematically. Because you don't want to spend 20. And I have... Okay, so... And then we have to ask ourselves, is 20 million a legit number? Can you spend 20 million on receivers? And I say you could easily spend 20 million on receivers. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Why do we do that? this parentheses messes. Yeah, we need. All right. Ah. Now the number looks like a ratio. Alright, so this should. That's so funny. Alright. I don't know. I think I am willing to live with this result as long as it makes sense. Just because spending money on the quarterback is bad. If you agree that you can't spend 450 million and the curve tells you to spend less than 450 million or more than 450 million on your quarterback. Then on the receivers, we can spend 20 million. That makes sense. So we want to make sure we're spending. That's the question. Do you spend more on your receivers, or do you spend less on your receivers? I would say that if the number is possible, that you want to spend more, because as someone who likes receivers, I see a lot of bad quarterbacks throw a lot of good passes to wide open receivers because they can get open. And if a receiver cannot get open, then it's hard to do. And then you look at how much. Oh, we slotted 40 million for the corners. Shit, which makes sense because they're trying to blanket. I don't know. It makes sense to me. The offensive lineman number is super high because there's 5 of them. I don't know. It makes sense. It's just weird that we had to move the quarterbacks into the bottom because, I mean, mathematically it makes logical sense. All right. And pretty much most of those teams are playoffs. I mean, the Ravens are 32nd, which just means they're not spending money like I've said to spend money. Oh snap! And then a test, which it doesn't look like the test is going to be very good for me, but we can just do that. Pow. And I like the fact that at the 0 mark we got some 8-win teams. Because that would be like, yeah, that's what mediocre teams do. They do the middle way. All right. So this says my ratio makes sense. Just because the higher you go on my ratio score, the higher the amount of wins you get. And the lower you are, the lower the wins you tend to get. If we did some fucked up teachers shit, we could like throw away the lowest score and the highest score, and my shit would still make sense. It would make more sense. And yep, and then look, and then if you don't spend the money the way I say it, but you don't spend the money the way I don't say it, or whatever, you get 8 wins. So this makes sense. Now, we don't have all the data for next year, right? But we have some data so far. I think I'll go apply what I've learned somewhere else. Maybe I'll make that video public at a later date, because I tend to use it for my own benefit. So, maybe you enjoyed that.